Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Let's get right to the details of that fire. At this hour, evacuations are ordered for people to get out. The small 3-acre fire started at around 3 this afternoon, and just in 3 hours, that fire grew to more than 200 acres. The flames spread quickly as they tore through thick brush on the hillside, driven by those ocean winds. The fire pushed its way uphill and into a neighborhood with multi-million-dollar estates. Several of those homes have been destroyed tonight. The Orange County Fire Chief is warning this fire could get worse due to dry conditions in the canyons of West Southern California.
These are our coastal winds that we experience generally every day. The big difference is, and we're seeing it again, with the climate change, the fuels beds in this county, throughout Southern California, throughout the West, are so dry that fire like this is going to be more commonplace.
Crews are working on the fire from the ground and in the air tonight. All right, let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo. We are approaching wildfire season here in the inland Northwest, and despite a cool start to the spring, we are still in a drought. So how are we looking right now, Jeremy?
Mark, it's one of those ones where it's all about what happened last year. Sure, we're getting some needed rain right now, but to put things in perspective for you really quick, here in Spokane, we sit about a ½ an inch behind so far this year in terms of rainfall. That's not that bad. Last year, though, in Spokane, we closed out about 5 inches behind. That's a third of our total rainfall, so it's no wonder we're still in drought. 50% of the state, most of that on the eastern half. Right now, we're looking at incremental improvements in the past week from some of our recent storms, and we have more rain as we move through the next few days. Now, what we are going to see is that chance of showers stick around as we head into the weekend, and that's good news. The first of which sits off the coast of Vancouver Island right now, and that front, as it moves in, is going to play a role in what we wind up seeing. First, it's going to be cloud cover that moves in overnight, and then we'll see scattered showers tomorrow afternoon. Light in nature and pretty sporadic. We will then get those to turn into a full-on front. As the cold front moves through, it's more widespread rain around dinner time. That rain moves out and back behind it, maybe a little bit of mountain snow, as temperatures trend a bit cooler than where they should be. But right now, here's my big message. Sure, we have temps falling into the 30s each night, and yeah, we are only climbing into the 50s each afternoon, but this is going to play a big role in getting that needed moisture back in the ground and back in that vegetation so we don't wind up looking like California does right now.
All right, thank you very much, Jeremy. I'll check back in with you later in the broadcast. Fed up with car prowlers in her school's parking lot, one Lewis and Clark student organized a meeting tonight with parents and Spokane police representatives to come up with a plan to make the area safer. As KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk tells us tonight, breaking these things up, or reporting break-ins could help reduce the crimes. Kyle?
Well, Lewis and Clark is the only high school that doesn't have its own parking lot. The district leases property from the Department of Transportation so students can park under I-90. Break-ins are becoming more common, so now parents and students are pressing the school to install cameras and increase security.
I would like to thank everybody for being here.
Lewis and Clark student Leilani Santiago had her car broken into this March. Thieves smashed a window and took a pair of sunglasses, but that wasn't the worst of it. They poured Mountain Dew in her gas tank. Damages totaled $3,000.
The goal today is to inform everyone about what has been done, what is being done, and brainstorm ideas for what can be done.
Leilani started a safety committee at her school. Tonight she held a meeting with students, parents, and COPS volunteers.
We have the money to get the security cameras. We just need permission from the DOT.
Her mom Heidi says cameras would definitely help, and so would extra patrols. She says campus safety specialists do walkthroughs during school hours, but no one is assigned after school, during plays and sporting events.
And so I think we're seeing a lot of interest in saying, okay, maybe we've crossed a line when it comes to crime and some of the things we're allowing. And therefore, we need to start making some changes, and it's starting with you guys.
Spokane Cops Executive Director Patrick Stryker reminded people at tonight's meeting that all crimes need to be reported. Police pay attention to data and will often shift patrols to cover hotspot areas. Lieutenant Steve Braun says 2 months ago, neighborhood resource officers increased their presence in the area of Madison to Cedar and Sprague to 2nd Avenue. Calls for service in the area reduced from 93 in the 2 weeks before to 57 in the 2 weeks after emphasis patrols, and vehicle prowling reports went from 18 to 3.
That tells me that there are officers who are out doing a fantastic job in the outreach, in doing some of those CPTED recommendations, just being a visible presence so that the community sees our officers out in a couple of square block area as a deterrent for criminal activity.
Once officers move to another identified hotspot downtown, Braun says these numbers may go back up slightly, but they rarely go back to where they were before. And Leilani says she also plans to bring the parking lot issues before city council members at their meeting next Monday. In the newsroom, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Kyle, thank you very much. Our other big story tonight, a week after police were called to Lewis and Clark High School after a mob of students reportedly threatened staff members, we are hearing from an LC teacher. 2 female students were charged with criminal mischief, riot, and threat to harm as part of the incident. At tonight's school board meeting, Lewis and Clark math teacher Matt Tully-Rupert spoke directly to SPS Superintendent Adam Swinyard to say the district is choosing to ignore staff and student safety concerns in order to make the district's data on discipline look better. Take a listen.
Because these concerns can't float up. They have a lid on them. That's by design in the district. You keep a cap on the concerns and say, what concerns? And this is what, for the optics of the school, to cancel 911 calls, to not have safety come to the school when it's needed? Like, we're whitewashing for what? Like, the optics are going to be better when we get to that disaster? It's head shaking. I don't know.
Tully-Rupert went on to say that it's gotten to the point where students are, quote, choosing to dehydrate themselves all day so they don't have to use the bathroom because it's completely unsafe to use the bathroom, unquote. And he continued, quote, I'm a scared parent and I'm a scared teacher in the building, unquote. Well, today a bill to make the landmark Roe versus Wade decision federal law failed in the Senate.
The Senate failed to stand in defense of a woman's right to make decisions about her own body.
Moderate Democrat Joe Manchin joined Senate Republicans in blocking the advancement of the Women's Health Protection Act. The debate over abortion rights has sparked demonstrations nationwide, leading up to a day of rallies planned for this Saturday, including one right here in Spokane's Riverfront Park. Well, get this, a man went from being a passenger on a plane to being the pilot very quickly.
I've got a serious situation here. My pilot has gone incoherent. I have no idea how to fly the airplane.
He said, I have no idea how to fly the airplane. That call was made to air traffic control in Florida today, and it's amazing what happened next. With the help of air traffic controllers, the passenger was able to safely land the plane. Besides landing the plane being a bit bouncy, pilots say it really couldn't have gone much better. The passenger said he just wanted to get home to his pregnant wife. Also, take a look at this crash caught on camera in Columbus, Ohio today. You can see an out-of-control Tesla slam into a building going 70 miles an hour. The video shows the Tesla hitting a curb and then going airborne through the glass doors. Once inside, another camera shows the car hitting a pillar and spinning to a stop. Police said the driver of the 2020 Tesla Model S was driving at a very high rate of speed and ran a red light before the crash. Police also confirmed the driver lost control of the brakes. The driver survived and was taken to the hospital. It is estimated that crash caused $300,000 in damages. Now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. Right now it is slow going on part of I-90 in North Idaho starting tonight and for the next 2 months. One lane of I-90 between the Washington State line and Sherman Avenue and Coeur d'Alene will be closed overnight. These nightly closures are from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. and will alternate between the eastbound and westbound lanes. During the closures, crews will be collecting data for a study on widening the interstate. The Spokane County Board of Commissioners and a local nonprofit are bringing a Western Washington homeless solution to Eastern Washington. Volunteers of America operates shelters and provides resources for those experiencing homelessness. Now with a $20,000 committed to the program, VOA says those funds will be used to help people relocate to be with family members or services outside of Spokane County. The Downtown Spokane Partnership announced a new president and CEO at today's State of Downtown address. Emily Cameron is from Sacramento, California, and has 15 years of experience leading strategic urban development initiatives. At the event today at the Downtown Spokane Partnership, the board there talked about the potential of the downtown area and said they hope Cameron will start a new chapter for the city. Her first day is May 23rd. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them directly to your phone. Well, more bad news for North Idaho College. The school's risk insurance carrier is dropping NIC at the end of June. That's according to our news partners, the Coeur d'Alene Press. The insurance company Idaho County's risk management program cited numerous factors for the decision, including adverse claim development and increasing risk exposures. Their policy covers them for general liability, property liability, and employee liability. The NIC Board of Trustees may file an appeal. A meeting to discuss any appeal has not yet been scheduled. And that was your KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time. But don't go to bed just yet. It is Boomtown Week here on KREM 2, and stay with us because in just 90 seconds, I take a look at how Spokane's growing mountain bike scene is now getting statewide attention.